But at least permanently don't store it. But I grieve, I bury the dog, I tell stories, I puppy shop, I put pictures up, whatever I'm going to do to work through that experience is different for everybody. If there's a bear, a black bear coming into the tent, I get afraid. I don't choose to get afraid. It's not anxiety. Anxiety is the same thing, but there's no bear. But I feel it. And the fear tells me what? The fear tells me warning, warning, danger, danger. And the energy of fear is get out of the tent before Sally. Right? I don't have to be faster than the bear, just faster than Sally. I gotta go. Because my fear wants me to get away from the danger. If I'm angry, the message of anger is protect. The energy of anger is to attack. It's my sword. Everybody's got one. So if somebody's angry, you want to protect yourself from the sword, don't get stabbed. But you also want to recognize what's behind the anger, which is vulnerability. I would say always, one of the only times in psychology I'd say always, is there's always vulnerability behind anger. That's what triggers it. Nothing, what's your first name?
Me?
Yeah. Kate. Nothing Kate says or does can make me angry. But a lot of things that she says or does could make me vulnerable. My vulnerability makes me angry. And when you want to revolve the situation, you want to see what you need to do to protect yourself from the anger, but at the same time, you want to recognize if people share anger with you, your natural response is to defend yourself. What am I supposed to do? If Kate pulls the sword out, I'm going to go, you know? But if she's vulnerable, vulnerability tends to trigger nurturing. So if, what's your first name?
Eli.
Eli. So if Eli steps on my foot and I say, hey, bugger, he's going to go, what? You know, and protect himself from my sword. But if he steps on my foot and I go, ow, he goes, what's the matter? You're standing on my foot. Oh, I'm sorry. See, but that whole I'm sorry and what's the matter and the nurturing part doesn't come unless I share the vulnerability. So try and see that in others as well. So safe distance, and where I was going to with all that anger stuff is safe exits. The vulnerability that causes anger the quickest is trapped. So try not to trap anybody physically. If I got to talk to somebody in their tent, I'm standing someplace where they can leave that tent without going through me. I don't want to trap them and I don't want to trap me. So safe exits. When you problem solve with somebody, always give them choices. Let me show you a menu, A, B, C, D. You pick one, I'll help. If you say to someone you got to do one thing and you got to do it now, it tends to piss them off, tends to make them feel trapped. And trapped animals bite. So don't trap people. That's part of safety. Stay on your feet. If I'm going to talk to Eli, I don't want to be the voice of God talking down from some authority place. But I don't want to do this either, right? Everybody got it? Because now I've trapped myself, right? And I'm stuck. So if I got to come down and talk to him, I'd rather do it on my feet. So I can still run if he gets froggy, right? Protect yourself first. Who's the person you got to keep safe?
Me.
So, absolutely. And who's second?
Everybody else.
Your teammates. The people in the staff t-shirts, right? Have their backs. Take care. And then everybody else, of course. Kids, people, everybody deserves the safety. But if you don't protect you, then we're having to deal with the bear and save you. So that's okay. We would do it. But try and be part of the solution. Right? Keep yourself safe. Any other things about safety? In your camps, safety with the public.
Know where your fire bucket is.
Know where your fire bucket is. That's one of those danger protocols. Again, things catch fire. What am I doing? Walk yourself through it a bunch of times. Molehills out of mountains. There's so many resources here. We've done so much artistic and creative and great shit in the last 44 years that we can solve incredible stuff really quick. We have lots of resources to apply and lots of creative, wonderful people. All of you, all of us, doing it together. So, we try and keep things small. People in crisis want to think things are big and important and have to happen now. Oh my God, this is a big deal. Well, to your ego, how many of you have a soul? Okay, good. A lot of soul people out here. Do laugh, but some people are hard existential. What you see is what you get. The meat dies is left and left. Tough way to live philosophically. But the moment they can get through it, it works for some. But I think I have a soul. So there's a part of me that is, 62, and that's worked the fair for 40 years. That's Zach. That's my ego. That's myself that's in the drama. To that guy, a lot of this shit is really important. Whether it rains and whether the fair has enough money and whether we put it there, nobody gets hurt. All to my ego is passionate and important. But I'm also a set of photons. You know what photons are? Little bits of light smaller than atoms, right? We're all made of it. The tent's made of it. The grass is made of it. We're sitting in this field of photons, and that part of me is eternal. Has all the wisdom. And the trippy thing is, if you read modern day physics, is that those little photons, hard to accept, are conscious. They remember shit. They talk to each other. If you take two photons and you touch them together in your hand, they're both part of your hand for a little while, and then you separate them. This is math. And you send them out 100 light years in each direction and 1,000,000 years apart, and you spin one, the other one instantly spins. Like they're always in touch. There's a lot of tripply implications for that. So we all are one in that way, really, and we all communicate, really. And that part of us can make things small, What's your first name?
Ryan.
Ryan? Ryan?
Ryan.
Ryan. So Ryan's soul hits the planet, becomes Ryan, goes around the sun a few times, and he's out of here. He didn't come with anything. He's not leaving with anything. He's not here that long. What is the big deal? Right? Why is he so excited? Right? This one part of him, what I call his soul, is 14 billion years old. It's been around since the Big Bang, maybe before. The energy doesn't go away. It just changes form. Some call that energy transfer. Some call that reincarnation. Call it whatever you will. Same thing. But the energy stays. So what we're keeping is what we learned. Not the stuff, not the people, not the houses, but only how we grew as beings. And that growth, I think, is why we're on the planet. So making molehills out of mountains is remembering with someone that, hey, it's all small shit, calm down, we'll get it fixed. But you don't tell someone who's really upset just to calm down. You know how well that works. Because then they feel invalidated. So the puzzle is, how do I get this back to small without invalidating this person or making them feel like I don't care about their problem? So I say, I know this is important to you right now, Goldfish, and I'm there with you. We'll deal with it, passion, drama, all of that. But try and keep in mind, we're going to fix it. It's just a weekend. I mean, the preponderance of the stuff we deal with as managers in the earth, you watch it happen every year. On Thursday and Friday and Saturday morning, we got all these big deals with all these big ramifications, and it gets to be Saturday night or so, and suddenly, oh, well, it's over tomorrow. Who cares? See you next year. So all those big things suddenly become much smaller just from the time frame we're in. Playing with this 400 acres and just 50,000 people is actually a great size puzzle to play with. We're having a good time out here, and we can do almost anything. So that's great. So molehills out of mountains. All right, specific concepts. The first one's responsibility. So if I get so mad that I kick this pole out and the tent falls, that'd be fun. Who's responsible for that?
You are.
Actually, nobody. It's an irresponsible act. I can't be irresponsible and responsible at the same time. I'm one or the other. What I am, what I will be, is accountable for that. Yeah. So I'm going to have to pay for the tent, maybe get my ass thrown out because I'm not playing nicely. That's accountability. Responsibility is the ability to respond, to have a choice. When I'm acting impulsively, when I'm acting out of habit, when I'm acting out of instinct, I'm acting... those things are not free will. They're not choices. They just happen. To have a choice, I have to be grounded. When I'm grounded, I'm at the center of the wheel. When I'm grounded, I am having a bunch of spokes I can choose from in the bicycle. When I'm in a spoke, I can only go in two directions. I have to have a way to get to my center. When I kick that pole out because I lost my temper, not grounded. And then shit just happens. and I'm going to pay the freight for it because we have no other way to deal with that. You're accountable for what your body does. But responsibility is ability to respond. Try and get through this whole month, and especially the fair. Don't blame anybody, including yourself, for anything. Finding fault is not a useful concept. If I'm starting to blame Eli for something, I catch myself at, wait, love to talk, got a thing, give me a minute. Gotta throw up. Alright, sorry. No, I didn't mean to make anybody the bad guy. You know, everybody's a hero in their own movie.
Yeah, you need a smoothie. You need a smoothie.
Need a smoothie. Yeah, need a smoothie. Please. What's in it? Don't tell me.
Do you want me to get you water?
No, I'm okay. Thank you. So, responsibility is don't blame anybody. How many of you remember what grounded is? Grounded is what? Give me some words.
Center of the wheel.
Center of the wheel. What else?
Centered.
Huh?
Centered.
Centered. Feet on the ground. Relaxed. Focused. It is your square one. It's where you start anything from. Ground comes before process or content. If Goldfish and I are printing out handouts, whatever we're doing, right? The handouts are the content. The process is treating each other well. That's more important for having a good life than getting these handouts done. No matter how we do the handouts, if we treat each other well, we're going to have a pretty good day. No matter how we do the handouts, if we treat each other like shit, we're going to have a pretty bad day. Yeah, the handouts are done, but God, you know, life is not fun. No good. And more important than process is ground. So it's like 1, 2, 3. Ground is just within Goldfish, or just within me. Holding my center. You know, if a guy is up at bat in a ball game, and he's getting $10 million to hit baseballs for 3 months, some guys get that. This is America. And go figure. Right, people can't get health care. This guy's hitting baseball for $10 million. So he's about to hit that baseball, and this guy also gets $10 million to throw the ball at him at 100 miles an hour. NBC cameras are on, 50 million people watching, and he feels nervous. His pants are too tight. He's worried about his girlfriend. I don't know. If you're the coach, what do you yell? Step out! He steps out of the box. The umpire goes, "What's the matter, prima donna? NBC's waiting." You know, everybody calls time. He says, "I don't know. My pants are tight. I was nervous. I wasn't ready." And the coach is yelling, "Don't listen to that guy. Walk away. We ain't paying you $10 million to hit balls when you're not grounded." Now, what's first name?
Ben.
Ben? Ben. Ben. Nice name. So Ben is going to interact with this lost 5-year-old at the fair. Is that more or less important than that guy hitting that ball for $10 million? But we would say more. They're at least equals. Why shouldn't he give that the same energy? You know, he goes up to the kid and says, "Hi, I'm Ben," and the kid takes his smoothie and goes. So Ben he goes, "Excuse me a second." I'm an oak tree, you know. Got to get himself back to ground before he does anything else. So, recognize people's positive intent. Staying centered. Oh, so right now, because I didn't do it really interested, get yourself grounded for a minute. We're going to do it officially a little bit later. But get yourself grounded for a second. Close your eyes a second. Just go to center. Take a breath. Relax. Feet on the ground. And what I want you to do, your eyes are open. And so what I want you to do is find a part of you that I would call, you know, Obi-Wan Eli or Obi-Wan Tim or Obi-Wan Stacy or Katie. Find that part of you that is already enlightened and strong and loved and connected, that already knows, that is not caught in the passion of the drama, that is 14 billion years old. Find that part of you. So get grounded first, that's neutral, that's square one, and then find that part of you that's enlightened like that. You all have it in you. And when you find that part, let it fill you up. Let become that part for just a minute. You can do this as a morning ritual when you get up at the fair. Become that one. And then when you feel that one, just say hello to the people on either side of you as that character. Greet them. Say hi. You already know. That's not Empathy. What is empathy? Thank you. What?
Feeling what someone
Nice to be outside. What's empathy?
Feeling what other people feel.
Feeling what other people feel. It is not sympathy. You don't give people cookies for feeling bad. That rewards feeling bad. That's where sympathy tends to go. Oh, you poor thing. I'm okay, you're not. And I stroke you so that next time you want to feel bad. No, but empathy is connecting. It's caring. It's recognizing that this person has the same center, hero in their own movie, love in the middle, connected by photons. Empathy is getting the feeling. You don't have to have the same experience. Do I have to have shot heroin to empathize with a heroin junkie? No. I know what it's like to be scared, sad, hungry, needy, not empowered, stuck in my... all those things. So relating to the feelings is caring. There was a guy coming down toward Fair Central during the fair one year at night, right during sweep. And I hear on my radio, they go, any bum in the neighborhood of Fair Central, this big angry guy is running full speed toward Fair Central and security's chasing him. And I was standing under Fair Central. And I went, shit. Curse me for a novice. All right, I'm here. And they go, good. Zak's got him. Right. So here's this kid. And, you know, he was tall, but, you know, 19, lanky, whatever. And behind him is the Keystone Cops. There's about 12 or 20 security people chasing him down the trail. And probably you've all seen one time or another. And for a second, just for a second, as he was running up toward me, I felt empathy. I went, oh, you poor guy, this must be so embarrassing being chased like this, and, you know, why are they bothering you? And he collapses into my arms, he starts crying, he goes, yes, this feels very nice. And so I walked him to the bus, and he was a fair kid and didn't have a job, and they were trying to sweep him out. It was no big deal.
I said, he feels your nose.
I said, here's how you can work your way in and stay the night. If you have this kind of job, we talked about it, problem solved. Took care of him, but that empathy took that fire out. You see, if I saw that anger and reacted to that, it just intensifies, it just escalates. So empathy sometimes works really well. Tex, is he still here? Tex and I, it took about 20 minutes on a Sunday, no, 45 minutes, getting this guy, what did I do wrong? Well, actually everything. He had no credentials, he was tripped out in the morning, he was bothering people, he was accused of theft, he was molesting women, you know, it was crazy. So anyway, it took us 45 minutes, so Tex and I got his stuff gathered up, got him down to the bus, gave him a booted out card, you need legal representation, fair to come back in, you're out of here. Put him on the bus, he runs from the back of the bus to the front, throws his arms around us and goes, that was the sweetest bum's rush I've ever got in my life. And we said, yeah, we love you, you still gotta go. It's for your own good. But that's the reaction I want from someone like that. We're not there to fight with them, judge them, beat them up, criticize them. We just want to keep the place safe. And he had to go. It was time to go. You can do that in a loving and respectful way. All right, anything else on empathy? Get that heart going. Get the caring going. Staying grounded comes first, and now we're going to do it. This is the generic way to do it. If you have your own ritual for grounding yourself, use it. That's fine. But here's 5 steps that are probably in your ritual anyway, and it's the generic way we do it together. And we want you to ground when you first get up in the morning. Just take a second. I want you to ground whenever you're not feeling grounded. I'm in an interaction, what's first name? Barbara. I'm in an interaction with Barbara and I feel myself getting buttons pushed. And I say, I gotta go throw up, I'll be back in a second. You have the right to space. You have the right to stop in the interaction. If you don't feel grounded, walk away for a second. If you say you gotta go throw up, nobody comes with you. So then you're alone, and you get to get your ground back, and you get to, what am I feeling right now? How do I want to approach this? So ground when you're not grounded, and also ground whenever you start anything. Don't. If my kid comes to me and says, you know, I need $10, I got 5 minutes to pick up my girlfriend, the movie starts 10 minutes, I need a car key. And then my kids, because they know me, will look at me and I'll look at them and they'll go, wait. I go, oh, now that we waited for a second, the $10 is glued to the garbage can. Until the garbage goes out, you can't get the keys or the money. And I go, yeah, but the movie starts in 10 minutes. And you go, yeah, and I'm rooting for you. I love you. Don't waste any time talking to me. And then they go, shit. And they go, run, get the garbage. It's the only time you can get them to do anything. But it does work. And you can do that whole interaction in a loving way. It don't ever have to have not 3 chips in it. Some things are inherently not so much fun, but you make them as pleasant as you can. And you treat people with that love and respect. And you can still offer those limits. I mean, setting limits is part of this. But grounding. So, everybody can stand up for a second. No.
Okay.
Sorry. I'll be back down a second. All right. Step 1. Listen up. Step 1. Bottom half of your body. That's your base. That's what connects you to the ground. So 3 things. You want it to be strong. Strong base. Your feet are about as shoulders length apart. Just like in the martial arts, just like in hitting a baseball, just like in dance, gymnastics, a lot of things. Same. So feel the body of your feet against the ground. Make good contact. Be strong. Shoulders length apart. Toes are parallel and facing forward. When you see someone with their toes going out like this, that's your basic tight-ass position. Then when your toes go out, your butt shuts off. Any place you tighten up, the energy of your emotions can't get past your butt then. Right? If your kid's up at bat and his toes are out like that, you've got time. Can't hit a ball like that. Right? No power. You have to connect to the ground, and that lets that energy go. Unlock your knees, tuck your hips, flexibility. So strength, flexibility, and contact. That's the bottom half. The top half of your body, 2 things. Relax. To any place you tighten, you lose power and you hold energy. You want to let energy go. So relax. The places you know you hold tight. And hold a shape. Hold a shape. Just enough energy to hold a shape that says, I'm valuable, I'm worth something, I have some confidence. If you get too aggressive with people, it'll push their buttons and they'll get angry back. If you get too weak or acquiescent, that will also draw aggression. So you want to be in the center somewhere. Hi. In fact, I talked to a cop in New York who did that just great. He looked like he was standing there robot-like. I needed directions to some restaurant. I said, excuse me a second. He went, yeah. Hi. And I said, oh, good training. I said, that's good. I said, he was strong, but he wasn't pushy. So hold that position of strength. 3 is breathe. 2 grounding breaths. A lot of people, you say, take a deep breath, they go, and all the air is up here and their stomach is tight, and then that emotional energy isn't getting past their gut. So when you take a deep breath and grounding, fill both chambers, drop your diaphragm, stomach and chest, and just let it all go. We're at the fair, so green compassion through the left nostril, wisdom purple out the right nostril when you exhale. That's all fine. But for grounding, just fill both chambers and let it go. Shake out the kinks. Go to the places you know you'll hold tight. So eventually, you're just like the guy stepping out of the batter's box. Eventually, all those 4 steps happen at once. You walk away. Excuse me, I got to throw up, and you walk away. And then, okay, calm down. And you say in your head, okay, that's all the physical stuff. Sit down. The rest is self-talk. I can see you better when you sit. So, except you can sit. So at the same time you're doing all this, in your head you hear Obi-Wan. And Obi-Wan says 3 things. The first thing is 2 relaxers. Chill the fuck out. Calm down. Right? Take it easy. Fight your retros. Whatever 2 phrases you can tell yourself to remind yourself that to take it easy. Relax. And that part of you, the photons part, the soul part, is always relaxed. It's okay. Nothing's going to freak that woman out. She's 14 billion years old. Right? So what's the problem? Right? So the second thing is affirmation. What can you say to yourself about yourself that's always true and always positive? Always true, always positive. No matter how bad you just screwed up, this would always be true. Like Ryan. Does Ryan have value? So if his affirmation is, I have value. Not value because of what he does, there's that, but there's value just for being. If I'm God and I'm tripping across the universe and I say, it's mostly space. There's a little bit of dust. And every once in a great while there's a rock. And then I find Ryan. And I go, wow, trippy. 300 trillion cell organic interactive organism. So, I mean, that has intrinsic value. That keeps God from being too bored and too lonely. Right? Which is kind of the motivation for creation. So God won't be bored or lonely. That's why he has free will, because you can't really keep somebody company unless you choose to yourself. Right? So, I have value. I love me. I'm doing the best I can in this moment. If I'm not about to shoot that rig full of heroin, am I doing the best I can in that moment? No.
Yes.
Yes, right now. If I was about to shoot that heroin, and Dave, Curly said, hold on, Zach, I can make you feel twice as good for half the money. I'd say, you bought a few seconds, what do you got? Because if I had some better way to take care of myself at that moment, as horrible as that might be, I'd be doing it. So people are doing the best they can. Positive frame for the movie they're in. So I'm doing the best I can. I have value. I love myself. 2 of those. And finally, 2 unhookers. When I stop to ground, I am unhooking from content and process. So I want to let go of the tent we were doing, and I want to let go of my process with Eli. I just want to ground. So some people just say, let go. It's not worth it. Be here now. Now, a couple years ago, Ram Dass was here speaking. People get to see him. It was great. You know, and we wrote on all the 6-packs, pee here now. You like that? That was very fair-like. So be here. Some people get a little more cosmic. They say, I'm just a speck living on a speck. Tiny planet, not here long. You know, anything I can say that lets me release into the moment. I work a lot with addicts in recovery. And a lot of them, if you say, so what's the coping value? Why do you do the drug? They'll say, for the rush. And we'll say, what's a rush? And a lot of times people will say adrenaline, but it's not. Adrenaline is often associated with rushes because if you put me in a car at 200 miles an hour, what's your first name? Aaron. So Aaron is worried about, money, partner, housing, childcare, whatever. And I pull out this 9mm, I click one in the barrel and go, hey Aaron. And all that other shit goes away. And our universe becomes black hole. Right? Don't sneeze, could you point that somewhere else? And she'd be rushing at that moment. And if you don't believe that, you've never had a gun pointed at you. Right? If you race a car, if you climb a rock, if you jump out of an airplane. My kid came home one day, he's very straight, computer nerdy kind of guy, pilot. He says, I read this book, and the book said, if you want to have a new experience and learn something, break your usual pattern. Just do something different randomly. So he's driving home from work one night, and he makes a left instead of a right. And he says, you got to sweep second hand? Tell me what time it is in 45 seconds. I say, okay, go. And he says, okay, I took the left. And then I came to this sign about a mile up. It said, skydiving 2 miles up. He said, I've never seen that sign because I never took the left. He said, an hour later, I'm suiting up. Jump with this guy, jump out of this airplane. He said, they love pilots. There's junkies there, jump junkies.